Hello, it's John. I'm here, and something feels off, doesn't it?
This is a real game. This is a fake game.
Notice any difference?
The bootleg games usually take something that's popular and try to sell that property, most likely one that they don't own, in markets that don't typically sell video games. The most popular way of doing this is through Famiclones. A Famiclone is a clone console of a Nintendo Famicom that is pretty much identical in power and in hardware to a Famicom, but it's made by some other brand or company and sold in a country that just doesn't sell Famicoms or NESs. These lead to some of the weirdest games ever created, sometimes attempting to be sequels to real games, and sometimes they're just kind of weird things.
Don't expect any logic here.
Mario 4, no, not Super Mario World, Mario 4 with Roman numerals, is a ROM hack of the NES game Armadillo, but it replaces the main character with Mario. In this game, you can't jump on enemies to kill them. Instead, you need to spin into a ball and roll into the enemies. No one knows where this hack came from, with the origins of who developed it being a mystery to this day. But there are some things that could lead to the answer to that question. If we look at the title screen, we see an interesting sprite of Mario being used. This sprite actually originated in another bootleg game known as Dianshi Mali, otherwise known as TV Mari. This game was published by Namco Corporation. No, not that Namco, another Namco, which was also known as Firefern. Confusing? I know. The whole plot of TV Mari is that it's just a gambling game for the Famicom. You need two controllers to play for some reason, and it contains Mario from Mario 4. But another iconic hack for the Famicom includes this Mario, and ties everything together into a nice little bow. Super Mario 7, otherwise known as 7 Granddad, is a hack of the Flintstones NES game. Another version of this hack was known as Wario Land 7. This hack is iconic! From the theme song, which is just the Flintstones song, the reactions online to people finding this game, everything about 7 Granddad is just iconic to everyone. The game became a popular meme on the internet due to the reaction that Joel from Vinesource did, followed by the song becoming popular on the video game music parody channel SilvaGunner, which just has some amazing arrangements of this song, some that I can't even put into words. It's just incredible, damn it. However, sometimes people just put too much damn work into a bootleg game for no reason at all. Super Mario World. No, not that Super Mario World, the one for the NES.
What?
Another classic from the creators of Granddad alongside Hummer Team is an NES port of Super Mario World released in 1995. This game is a bit different to the SNES original, with less levels being shorter, but my god, almost everything from the game is actually in this NES port. It's like an alternate universe version of the SNES game. There may be pages and pages of glitches in this game, animations that are incomplete, and you may just be able to entirely skip the entire game at the beginning because you can just go to the final world and skip to the final level of the entire game. But my god, this game is a faithful recreation of the SNES game. It's one of the best bootleg games that you can find. Super Mario World.
I don't even know how to describe this one.
Super Mario World, no, not that one, or that one, is a hack of a hack, which is somehow quite common in the bootleg industry. Super Mario World is a Sega Mega Drive, otherwise known as a Genesis game, but the game is a hack of the game known as Squirrel King. Now, Squirrel King is actually not a fully released game either, and is instead a game that attempts to recreate the NES game known as Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Yes, that one. Except this game actually released on both the Mega Drive and the SNES. But of course, it wasn't real, so you wouldn't think an actual company known for bringing back some older official games from this era would release this game on an official piece of hardware thinking it was an official game, right?
You really think I'd ask the question if it was a no?
Some models of the AtGames Legends Ultimate Arcade Machine for at-home use had copies of Squirrel King available. Yes, despite the fact that these arcade machines had official Disney games on it, such as The Lion King and other popular companies' games on it like Atari and Data East, this pirated version of a Disney game was available on the device. I bet Disney's lawyers are having fun finding out that fact.
Hello? Yes, take down the beast.
So what is Super Mario World then? Well, it's actually Super Mario Bros., as shown on its second title screen. But what it really is a weird version of the Super Mario All-Stars version of Super Mario Bros., with incredibly glitchy movements, graphics, and the like, where you pretty much do the same thing you would do in the original, except to kill enemies, you throw boxes at them. And to kill Bowser, my god, that's another challenge in and of itself, and he's giant. The hack is just weird, man. Sometimes it takes levels from Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels just for the fun of it, but it's really just Squirrel King, otherwise known as Chippendale Rescue Rangers, otherwise known as My Will to Live. Funnily enough, this game would make the second time that uses the Can as a part of its soundtrack, as the Can appears in this game as it does in Super Mario Land, which uses it as its Starman theme. But there's actually another type of bootleg, one that fools everyone across the globe. Because of the increasing price of older Pokemon games, people took it among themselves to create fake versions of Pokemon games. Here I have a fake Pokemon Ruby and a fake Pokemon Platinum. Both of these games aren't real copies of the game, although they do look the part. For at least my copies, there's actually nothing wrong with either of them, but for most fakes, the batteries used to play said games either don't work, were never there to begin with, or are faulty. These batteries are used to save the game, so it would suck if they didn't work, especially for a Pokemon game. Buying fake copies of real release games can be a dangerous thing to do, as you normally can find them on sketchy websites, but you can also find them on popular websites that you would think would have much more control about what you sell on them, being Amazon and eBay. Although Amazon has a rule against selling fakes, several of them still appear on the website, with the best way to tell they're fake, especially for the Game Boy Advance games, is when they list every single GBA entry for the same price, either as a bundle or separately all on the same page. It's quite easy to get scammed, and you would think Amazon would do something about it, and you would think Nintendo's lawyers would do something.
Hello? Yes, I'll hold.
But it's just something you've got to look out for. Of course, I bought mine fully well knowing that they were fake copies, but I can imagine some people who just want to casually play these older Pokemon games would be fooled into this, and end up with a worse experience because of it. However, some other websites, like AliExpress, also have other bootleg games, but these bootleg games exist for a good reason. These games, also known as Homebrew games on websites that aren't AliExpress, are games that aren't trying to fool you into thinking they're real, and instead are cool hacks of games or original games that you can get. Here I have an English version of Pokemon Green, the Pokemon game that never actually released outside of Japan, and an English version of Mother 1+2. A GBA port of Mother 1 and Mother 2, otherwise known as Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound, that also never released outside of Japan. And these work just amazingly. I haven't had enough time to play either of them that much, but from what I have played, they work perfectly. Other games are available like this too, with English translations of Mother 3, Super Mario Bros. 3 Mix, an updated ROM hack of Super Mario Bros. 3, and so much more. I wouldn't really consider these bootleg games, but if you go on places like AliExpress, they're kind of listed as if they are real games, but whatever.
And that's bootleg games. Sometimes things are just slightly off versions of things. I understand why they exist, but 9 times out of 10, they're annoying to everyone. It would be nice if Nintendo cracked down on those fake Pokemon cartridges, but those fake cartridges are kind of just the way of life now. It would also be nice if they weren't so expensive, but whatever. Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and was that a bootleg version of me?